Thank you. 谢谢。
My question is, I know the cooperation between China and United States in the area of environmental protection also have a MOU between EPA and Chinese Ministry of Science and Technology on research regarding environmental protection. And I know there's a partnership between Chinese Ministry of Science and Technology and DOE, Department of Energy. They have a joint research center. It's a new mechanism. I think to start a couple of years ago, like both China and United States, they both funded the center, but the money funded by U.S. funding were given to U.S. experts, and China did the same way. And I think for the past few years, the cooperation has generate a lot of positive outcomes. So I'm wondering if this also mechanism possible for China and U.S. on the environmental protection area.
Yes, as I mentioned, we do have actually an MOU also with the Ministry of Science and Technology, MOST. We have one of the largest research and development capacities within EPA. It's our Office of Research and Development. So that office has a separate MOU with MOST, and we have identified, again, a list of priority areas under that, including obviously climate, air, water, and other research areas that we are cooperating with them. There was a delegation that actually came to the United States last year, visited our research labs, and I think we're going to have a reciprocal visit to China this coming year. So the short answer is yes, we do have cooperation.
I have a long history of a government contract and travel around the world with the EPA projects. My question was, I think at this time there are a lot of urban areas just can't stand for it anymore. And all the research effort is a long term. And I believe we have, through the years, there are a lot of solutions and similar problems in Philippines, in Indonesia, in other places that U.S. contractor or technologist or the sort of business sector already developed solutions and also other products that can be monitored and can be used immediately. So what I'm thinking about is from what you see was the urgency of people needing some kind of way to protect them. Otherwise they would be stuck at home and they didn't know what else to do. So what I'm saying is, instead of research cooperation, is anyway what you see, the opportunity between two countries on the business solution, on the immediate solution to take people out of the fear of their day-to-day life, instead of just guidance and law and research. I mean, there are already solutions and product and system to monitor where the most pollutants are and how to solve it. And this is another new problem because it's a fast-growing society and we all face the same problem maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now we learn from the lesson and we build a solution. Can those solutions be shared to China?
Yes, and in answer to your question, I think we totally agree with the idea that we need to work in terms of action, and as I alluded to, the representative from the embassy can reaffirm this, the Chinese government has taken very seriously the pollution challenges that are now facing China, just as the U.S. government is taking very seriously the pollution challenges that we face. And that as part of our collaboration, we are looking at action-oriented interventions, which include introduction of technologies. The pilot projects that I just referred to, that heavily relies on the introduction of new technologies. Some of the initiatives that we are doing in the vehicle transport area is also looking at new technologies that have come up to obviously improve fuel emissions as well as vehicle emissions. So we believe, as you do, the importance of that technology. I also refer to the fact that we also believe, obviously, in sharing information with regards to transparency. As all of you know, that one of the best ways to do that is to share information that we receive from air monitoring. And I think that for those of you who live in China, you know that the air quality monitoring data now is very readily available to the average resident, of whether it's Beijing or Shanghai. And that, again, because not only does government have a role in terms of controlling pollution, but also individuals in terms of what we can do to help address pollution, whether it's not driving less, etc. So yes, we think that in order to be able to address the challenges that we face, that it takes a comprehensive approach, and the center of that comprehension is obviously action.
Back home in India, where we try to bring in a lot of rules and regulations, but the people simply can't get used to it, because like if they want an emission-free vehicle, it would be more expensive, and if they need pollution-free water, it would be more expensive for them. So they just live the same life that they basically did. So how far has it gone ahead? Is it of any...
I think you would just, for those of you who are old enough to remember what it was like in certain cities where Los Angeles is a perfect example. If you were a resident of Los Angeles 20 years ago, you would see a smog day like what China is now seeing in terms of Beijing. And so because of the efforts over the last 20, 30 years in terms of what the US government has done in terms of Clean Water Act, the Air Quality Act, and other measures that local governments have done, the quality of air has improved.
She's published more than 60 works on carbon finance, water pollution, environmental risk control of financial institutions, analysis involving environmental taxation with respect to consumers, and also taxation design. In 2012, Professor Lan published 2 books, one carbon finance and also business innovation and environmental risk management of commercial banks. The first works of this kind in China.
Thank you very much. First, I need to thank China Society and the International Fund of China Environmental invited me to here to give speech. It's really great pleasure for me to can learn a lot in here. So thank you again. And today I would like to talk about China's air pollution and its governance. And because I think maybe it is the interesting topic for you, because right now China seems air pollution is become well known. Everyone, if you talk about air pollution, maybe will mention China. So I think if we want to talk about China's air pollution, maybe we need to talk about China's energy structure, because why China's air pollution is so serious? That's because China's energy structure, the coal fire accounting for too much. Yeah, and we can see that energy consumption structure also have the same as the coal fire also account a lot. If the situation is so clear, and this is health damage for the air pollution, we know everything. The problem is not the Chinese government don't know what we want to do, and not the Chinese government not want to resolve this problem. It's really have some technical difficulty in here, and we really want US the expertise can give us more technology, advanced technology, how to resolve this problem. China's expertise and China's government always think if we want to control the pollution, the most important thing is the technology. Right now we still think technology is really, really important. But also we think the market also very important. In order to combine the market and the technology, so we establish this center. What we wanted to do is different level. First, we wanted to recognize what kind of technology is really Chinese society, really Chinese pollution control need. Everyone in here, especially for air pollution, right? China people breathe this air. You also breathe this air. So I hope more and more American expertise focus or care about China's pollution problem. And thank you very much. Clean coal, like I said, really we put a lot of energy or resource for control the sulfur dioxide, but at the same time you will see CO2 increased. Our sulfur dioxide already decreased.
With the weak numbers that we're projecting and expecting. So what I would conclude from that, with growth, pollution is inevitable, but we could do the best we can to reduce it. So for example, the US, when we were growing, when industries were growing from an infant size to becoming dominant on a global level, we had pollution and the world was not coming to an end. Now China is keeping the global economy on its feet and the world's coming to an end, and we see articles about the smog, about pollution, so we should expect that.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really glad to see your much attention to the environmental issues. If you have been watching the environmental problems evolving in China in last few years, actually China has been experiencing these serious environmental problems since its economic growing significantly in the last 3 decades. In 1990s, and we already noticed enormous water pollution problems. That's why at the time IFC we watched the water pollution is very bad. That's why a group of professionals and scientists we set up an international fund for China's environment here, and we saw that the growth cannot be sustainable without adequate measurement of environmental control. So if you remember, the government paid attention to this actually. In 9th year and the 10th year of development plan, the government put 3 major rivers and 3 major lakes as a priority for treatment. So that time those like Dianshi and Taihu and Taohu was all polluted very badly. But the environmental problem didn't get a large public attention until recent years, especially last 2 years, because of the significant air pollution came out. The air pollution is significantly increased as the vehicle, the coal burning, and Professor Lan talked about coal burning. So the air pollution is so obvious, it's so apparent, and it can impact everybody. For the water, you can drink it, you can buy the drinking water, buy clean water, but the air is you cannot avoid it. You go anywhere outside, you breathe the same air. No matter your president or your scientist or your citizens, you breathe the same air. So that's the environmental problem becomes so obvious and get public attention. Now, another one is the social media and the technology is so advanced. So the problem, information and the knowledge is increased enormously in the last decade. So people can easily get information, can also share their opinions and share their observations through the social media. So another one is actually U.S. Embassy, released the PM 2.5 data on the website a couple years ago. That made it public attention, then kind of forced the Chinese Environmental Agency to upgrade the standards for the measured air pollution. So that's kind of those changes. Professor Lan talked about the government response. I'd like to share some with you on the public and and non-government sectors, because the IFC has been paying attention to the government as a NGO growth, NGO development in the last almost 2 decades. There are actually very active discussions, on Chinese social media on the environmental problem nowadays. It's almost one of the hottest topics. And yesterday I just saw on the email some pictures show the world famous cities. They show a picture of Paris, Barcelona, London, New York, Tokyo. They show a picture of Shanghai. Of course, you see Shanghai is smart, it's only barely city building. But they take a picture of Beijing, it's complete brown page. And then people joke about it, this is a clean paper, we can draw a beautiful picture down there. Another person come and say, and come on, I saw that my browser was stuck. And then we maybe refresh a couple more times, but it's still same thing. Not only take pictures and comments on those social medias, but also they take actions with this advanced technology like cell phone, some portable equipment. They measure the quality of air, they measure the quality of the drinking water, and then report it. So people know what they're drinking actually is from city municipal drinking water system, but the water is still quite polluted. So they expose those problems to the media. So that's the force the local government to pay attention to those issues. Like in this Spring Festival, one famous journalist, Mr. Zheng Fei, reported his hometown and mining pollution problems, soil pollution problems. Then the government, he posted his one on the Weibo, because he have millions of fans. So the government immediately put that site as a heavy metal pollution control pilot site. This is one Weibo mentioned, then some people follow up, then government take action immediately. So that's the public force, public influence. In the last few years, citizens' response also blocked a number of government-approved projects. Last year, citizens in Kunming took a walk and protested the petrol refinery project near Kunming. That project is still on hold right now because the government is sensible to this issue. And in several other cities, residents protested on building solid waste incinerator near the communities. In Tianjin, a single citizen just launched a lawsuit to the local EPB for the smog-related damages. Then a group of people, citizens in Hangzhou, in Zhejiang province, also for the same suit. So the government citizens take some actions, legal actions, and some other action to protest. NGO also played an increasingly important role in this battle in pollution. Since last year, NGOs regulation and the registration process is simplified. So more and more new NGOs emerged. Most of them are young, and 80% of Chinese NGO leaders are below age of 30. They are very dynamic, they are well educated, and they can use social media very well. And they are monitoring local polluting sites, reporting the issues, reporting the problems,